Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Long time no see. Yeah, we're back. We're back, and we're gonna keep working on Deadlock. So, yeah. Hope everybody's doing good. Boy, I had a heck of a time. Over the past couple of days doing some blueprint stuff. I've been doing it off stream so you don't see me just having a mental breakdown, because it's been rough. But man, I spent 2 days chasing this bug. Turned out it was just a checkbox needed to be checked. Couldn't believe it. I finally found it, and I was like, man, if I could go back in time, I could save myself 2 days. But yeah. That's done. We're here now. So I'm gonna take a little break from the blueprint stuff. And yeah, we're gonna see if we can maybe finish this guy up. Oh yeah, I had a close call. I almost lost my work. ZBrush autosave came in clutch. Because yeah, while I was debugging all of that stuff, I had to run some P4 cleans. And that, I did that without realizing I hadn't actually submitted any of my files, so that got rid of them. But thankfully I had the ZBrush quick save, so that saved me. I did lose the Maya version, but it's whatever. I can work with it. Oh, just noticed I didn't turn on my light. 1 second. Ooh, there we go. Now we're all bright and fancy and professional looking. All right. So yeah, let's jump right into it. I think the main thing we need. This is looking pretty decent. I think our main objectives for today are going to be laces for the boots. And do something about this bandolier. It's not quite cutting it. Where even is it? Oh yeah, that's not gonna cut it. We can do better than that. Alright. Let's see, first of all, I should probably focus on getting all of these parts back into Maya. Oh yeah, and these too. But lost my original subdiv. Oh wait, I can use that. Nice. Yeah, ZBrush autosave really saved me this time. I always kind of preach against using autosave. In fact, I don't even have it turned on in Maya, and now I'm regretting it, because if I had, I'd have those Maya files and I wouldn't be doing this right now. But the reason I don't know, I guess just because I like to do everything the hard way, but I just don't usually bother with autosaves, because it's like you should be saving your files, right? And in my defense, it was a extenuating circumstance, multitasking, doing 2 different kinds of, oops, I didn't decimate that. Yeah, let's decimate that. Or wait. No, I have a better idea. Hang on. Sorry. Two trains of thought going on at the same time. Let me return to my point that I was making, which is you should always be saving your files, and I always do, and I had, but then I was multitasking, doing some other development stuff in a totally different mode, didn't really think about the consequences doing a clean would have because of this. What I should have done is, once I signed off the stream, I should have just submitted to the depot, right? Then none of this would be a problem. Oh well. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to get these into Maya. but I want to do it efficiently. Why am I getting notifications from Skype? I didn't know I even had Skype installed. Jeez. What the heck was that? I don't know if you could hear that, but it made a horrible sound. Can we outlaw Skype? Because that was ridiculous. Okay, sorry. I promise I'll get back on track here. So I'm trying to get this into Maya, right? And we can try to preserve, but I need to decimate it to get it. I need to be less polygons to get it back into Maya. But if I decimate it, I'll lose my nice topology. So thankfully we've got this subtool master script, and I can just say low res vis, and it'll put everything on its lowest res visibility. Now I can merge these. There we go, and see these have all pretty decent topology, except for my Dynamesh souls here. But that's okay. I'm just gonna export that, and then we'll just hop back over to Maya, and we'll just import that. Whoa, that was trippy. Oh, sometimes it does that. Why did it do that? That's a great question. So it should bring everything in as sub meshes, or like separate meshes based on polygroups, but it did not. So I don't want to create all that nonsense. Let's just move this out of the way. Maybe if I do auto groups. Also this, I'm actually gonna split hidden. Dynamesh that real quick. So you can't even tell a difference. See, you can't tell. You can't even tell, but it's such a difference in terms of polygons. It just went from 100,000 to 20,000. You can't even tell. Hey, what's up, Harrison? I know, yeah, I was shocked. I swear I have not even installed it. It was a real jump scare. Alright, try this again. Auto group. There we go. That's what I was expecting to see. What's up with this? Oh, wait. Oh, man. This is why I normally do these things kind of like one piece at a time. It's just for reference anyway. And the things that I really need to be separate, I can just split manually. Trouble with my split script. There we go. For some reason it's not been liking the combo of Control, Shift, and Alt. So, whatever. Just use Control and Alt. Alright, there we go. Took us a while, but now we've got our boots ready to go. Alright, we should probably update this. So, same thing. It's Dynamesh, or sorry, not Dynamesh, Decimate. And then I'll undo that so that I don't actually lose my my subdivision levels. So now trying to decide if I want to do this strap or the laces first. If I do anything, I'll save my work. Alright, so I actually need to do one more thing. So I want those because these are our subdivision surface bases for the boot. And you know, we may need that. But what I also need is a better, less approximate reference to create the laces with. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to merge visible, then I'm going to do decimation at 75K, decent res, right? So I can go into Maya and actually model in like the little grommets and some curves or something that I can build the laces from. Curves in Maya are something I've kind of been struggling with forever. Softimage had these really nice curve tools. Just made doing cables and stuff, cables and laces and any kind of rope-like structure, just made it effortless, and Maya is not the same way. Obviously people do cables and ropes and stuff, but I just don't like the way it works. So I've been trying to find a better way to do it. I've not had a ton of success with it yet, though. These are old locators and stuff from my XSI scene. Yeah, camera root. Yeah, that's all old stuff from XSI. Alright. So, you know what I need? I need my reference board. This is my reference board for Night Atlas for Denizen. Denizen is playing in that video up there too. That's the little prototype game we made, but the idea is he's a knight mixed with like a modern military soldier. I showed him on the last stream, but the reason I pulled this up is so I can get some good reference for boots. So I'm gonna keep this over on my other screen. Yeah, you may notice these boots are basically exactly these boots. I do that kind of stuff a lot. Just go online and you just kind of go shopping for boots. You know, just what kind of boots do I want? And I picked these, and they look kind of neat. So let's see. sure what this material is, now that I come to think of it. Is that metal? It kind of looks like metal. Guess it doesn't matter. What would a cyberpunk trooper's bootlaces use? Metal, right? So let's just pretend it's metal. This is one of my favorite tricks in order to get, so, you know, obviously symmetry is important for something like this. We want to be able to utilize symmetry, but we also need it to fit in wherever it needs to be on our model, and it's never at the center, right? So what I do is I build the piece at the center, and then I make an instance of it. In fact, I could make more than one instance of it. And then I can get them positioned where I want them to be. And then I can work out the scale and actual, you know, details of how it looks at the center, which is very nice. Harrison says, "You making some aglet? What's an aglet?" Don't tell me that's like the cobbler industry term for these shoelace anchors. That's my guess. My guess is that that's like the technical word for these, and Harrison is a shoemaker in secret, and we didn't know until now. Aglets are the little tip of the shoelace. Okay, you mean the part that goes on the cloth? Bro, I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm a cobbler by trade, actually. Cool, I didn't know that. Didn't know that about you. You know, which raises, you know, kind of a, you know, a fun point about just being a 3D artist and an artist in general. It's like, you know, you just kind of like, it kind of pays to collect like this kind of weird esoteric knowledge, you know, because it just makes your product more realistic, more believable, you know. And if you don't know that stuff, you know, how are you going to make it realistic, you know? You're not. You can't make that stuff realistic unless you know about it. So yeah, I'm ashamed to say I did not know what an aglet was, you know? It's like, I've been making shoes all this time. I didn't know. Now I know. Next time I make shoes, I'll be like, and then this part is the aglet. Oh. Achievement unlocked. Run a Boolean without crashing Maya. Let's go. We're so back. Ah, right, but that's the other thing. Booleans always break instances, things like that. It's a house of cards. It's a castle of cards. It just all crashes down at the slightest, just the slightest provocation. But for those of you tuning in, we are working on the basic enemy type from our old game Root, and therefore also from our other old game Deadlock, which we are currently revisiting. It's a game where you play as a hacker taking over a computer, and the way that kind of plays out is in the form of John Wick style gunplay. Or stealth, right? In the case of Root. In the case of Deadlock, there's not so much stealth. So Deadlock was a room-scale VR wave shooter that we developed back in 2016 for the first HTC Vive. It's in this rotation of, that's it playing right now, up in the video above me. But, you know, we always wanted something more from it. And now, you know, we've kind of decided to give it another shot. So we are revisiting Deadlock and trying to modernize it. I've been putting in some long nights trying to figure out, you know, how to do good, like, VR stuff in Unreal. So I will share some of that with you once I have something to show. But for now, I'm just working on updating and upgrading some of the models that we used in the original version, because, you know, they're pretty old. They're pretty old, and, you know, I've learned a lot about modeling since then. So we're just kinda working through that right now. This will be the foot of the guards that you fight. These guys will just be kind of like the base enemy. Hello, Harry, what's up? Harry says, please nerf Abrams. I'm assuming that's a character from Valve's Deadlock. So yes, Deadlock, not Valve's Deadlock. Our Deadlock is a different game. It's a room-scale VR shooter inspired by Tron. It's 8 years old. Yeah, it's been in development since around 2016. We're getting back to it. Harry, it's okay. I know it's still a secret, but I'm in the alpha playtest. You can trust me. No, seriously, it's not the same Deadlock. If I had the power to nerf Abrams, I'm sure I would. I don't know anything about it, though. But this is a different game. Do you have VR, Harry? If you do, Deadlock's on sale. You should check it out. We will need playtesters for our Deadlock. And it's kind of hard to find VR playtesters. Oh, I'm used to it. I'm used to it. Yeah, our Steam forums were, you know, dead for 8 years. And then all of a sudden, one day I woke up to just like 1,000 comments, 1,000 discussion boards just exploding, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? And that's the only reason I know Valve's even making a new game. Honestly, I'm so out of the loop. If it hadn't been for that, I wouldn't have even known. I think that's looking kind of cool. Now I need to do these, so that was these little things. Now I'm gonna try to do these little, man, what even is that shape? It's like, you know, it's like a hexagon, but with a circle on the inside. I don't know. Any cobblers out there? Any cobblers know what that's called? This is the real reason I do this stuff on live stream, so I can get the inside cobbler intel. Those are grommets, not to be confused with islets. What's the difference? Also, can't a grommet be just anything? That's like... grommets aren't shoe-only related, I don't think. Let's see, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 8 sides. Octagon. Grommets are just larger and more robust. They're the circles laces loop through. Eyelets are smaller versions, basically the same though. Wow, how do you know so much about shoes? Are you looking this up? Be honest. Bro's over here, just like with Google. What is this piece of the shoe called? Or he's a cobbler in a past life. Could be. I don't know, man. I think you might be on Google. Oh, that looks pretty cool. This is a quote from the Justice League. The tips at the end of the shoelaces are called aglets. Their true purpose is sinister. That's mysterious. Why is it sinister? There you go. That actually looks pretty cool. Pretty cool looking grommet. It's a little too big. Oh yeah, so this is the reason why I like to do this instance trick. So now that I've got it in place, I've got two problems. One, it's too big. The other is this is too sharp. That comes in at a nearly 90-degree angle and doesn't look right, even though that's how it is in real life. It's going to look so much better if I scale this in and make this like a slope. In fact, maybe sharpen here. See how much better that looks? Actually, that's probably too much detail. This little shelf is probably not quite needed. Maybe just something like that. That's about right. Yeah, that looks right. And then the whole thing is a little too large, so just scale it in. Perfect. And then we can just focus on sinking it in. Okay. 3D modeling is a constant battle of the three bears problem. This one's too soft, this one's too sharp, this one's just right. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. And distance, right? Things need to be the right distance from each other too. It's a lot to keep in mind. Pretty cool, if I do say so. This is the fun part of doing shoes and boots. So when you start to be able to add the details. It was nice because I had these, I had this base done. It's like I did all the hard work, like, you know, over a year ago and forgot about it. Now I get to just do the fun part. That doesn't happen every day. Yeah, there you go. Just build up a depot of 90% done models so that whenever you're feeling like it, you can just come back and do the fun part of finishing it. Honestly, that's like kind of what we've been doing. This is not my only 90% finished model. It's quite a bit of stuff from that was intended for Route 2 that's nearly done. There's quite a bit of stuff for Denizen too. To mention all our older, games that we never even, talked about publicly. Got tons of stuff from those. Problem is, it's all terrible. So it's only good as like concept art. How's the stream? Everything sound good? Looking good? Quality alright? Latency? Etc.? Everything looking right? Ten out of 10. Hell yeah. So many half-finished ideas abandoned, more half-finished ideas. Yeah. Oh, abandoned for more half-finished ideas. Yeah, so true. So true, but this will be the season of finishing ideas. It's, it was hard because, we were learning as we went, and obviously we're still learning. I mean, there's just so much to know. There's so many skills to get better at, so many little, pieces of information that are crucial to have. But we've built up a lot more of that. We definitely know a lot more than we did when we started, so it's getting better. Alright, that's looking pretty cool. I'm wondering if they're too small? It's probably okay. We'll bake all this down into a normal map. Thinking we'll have normal maps in Deadlock. Especially, at least for characters, because it's just worth it, like for animation purposes, to have a simpler to skin foot. Like obviously, like if I had laces on here, we wouldn't be able to skin it. So yeah, probably makes sense. And same for like the pants. Like we can't have this crazy geometry. We gotta simplify it for the skin. So we'll have some normal maps. Not really so much for performance saving reasons, but for deformation reasons. Okay, so now I gotta do the laces, which means I'm gonna have to mess around with curves. I just noticed about these. These are real, but how do you tie the laces? Like, where's the bow? How does this work? I mean, I'm glad. I don't want to model a bow, but I'm not sure how these boots work now. You don't tie them? Skunk Ape Interactive? If I'm here, then who's in the chat? Oh, they're bungee elastic. I mean, can you tighten it? It works good for our purposes. This is pretty cumbersome, but it's kind of the best way I have found for modeling curves. I was hoping I could find something a little better, but I might just, if I can map this little set of tools, this curve point and insert knot, if I can map all that to hotkeys, I might be able to get pretty quick at it. It's hilarious that the guards are wearing Timberlands. Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's the deep lore. The boots did come from Night Atlas from Denizen, and Night Atlas lives in the woods, so Timberlands is appropriate. Oh man. Get out of here with those dad jokes. No, just kidding. It's all in good fun. strongly debating just taking the time right now to map these commands to hotkeys. Even though it would be super boring for everyone to watch. I'd be able to do this so much more efficiently though. Probably worth it. Question is, what keys would I even use for them? Alright, I think I'm gonna do it. This is a lot of shoelace to be doing inefficiently. Alright. Get a little live tutorial of how to figure out mapping keys in Maya. Open up the command script editor and turn on echo all commands. What that'll do is it'll show you printed out everything that you do. So I just selected it, just set a whole bunch of stuff I don't care about. What I want is to switch to control vertex, and then somewhere in here should be the command to do that. Do menu, NURBS component selection, curve 1 control vertex. Let's see, is that really the one that I want? The other thing we can do is we can just search through the hotkey editor, just see if we can find it. There we go, control vertex. So it's select CV's mask. So we can verify that by coming in here to Mel and just typing, there we go, select CV's mask, and that gives us what we wanted. So I just need to figure out what is the difference between these. It's interesting. Well, it should work. So, let's see, if I used Alt-1 for something else? Looks like that's okay. Alt-1, nice. Alright, so now I've got 1 is vertex select, and Alt-1. So 1 is vertex select, and Alt-1 is CV select. Right, good. So now I need to figure out this curve point. Sweet, select curve points mask. Maybe shift 1? No, I use that all the time. Control 1. No, I use that too. Shift Alt 1. Alt exclamation point. Yeah. Alright, try that. Shift Alt 1. Sweet. Okay, now I just need to figure out insert not. Insert not. Oh man, that's a corny one. We should add a road paving company in Captain McSpace Biff, and it's run by a guy called Nerbs. And it's called Nerbs Curbs. Bro, you're killing me. Killing me. Trying to think what a good hotkey for inserting a knot in a NURBS curve would be. I used Control F. I can't believe that one's free. Surely want that for something else, but for now, maybe that'll work. Okay, so I can go Shift Alt 1. And then I can go Control F, and then I can go Alt 1. Oh, that's amazing. Haha. Alright, now we can just fly through this. Yeah, that is game dev humor. Nerbs curbs. Oh my gosh. I can hardly believe that. Like 4 people out there would be like, ha, I get it. Alright. those of you just tuning in, we're working on this character for our game. Well, he's an old character that we made for our game years ago. We're kind of giving him a little update. Right now we're working on his shoes. I just spent a couple minutes fiddling with my Maya keybinds, and it was, my goodness, it was well worth it. So now I can add points to these EP curves very, very efficiently. I don't think EP curves are the way to go. Obviously, they've got some downsides. Like, you know, you can't have tangent handles, so you can't have them be really, you know, curved, like a Bezier curve. But what you lose in that, you really gain in control. And I think that's probably worth it, because, I mean, if I need it to be curved, I can just add some points and curve it, you know? Yeah, once I have these backbone curves modeled for the laces, then I can just sweep mesh to make this actual geometry, and then I can go into ZBrush and I can start sculpting the folds to kind of overlap with that, and that should look pretty cool. Constant push and pull of 3D modeling. It's gonna be cool to fight these guys in VR, and not just like from a distance like in the current Steam build, but like actually getting up close. Because these guys are tall too. It's kind of hard to express on a monitor. Towering over you in VR, it's pretty scary. Oh, I've got some buffering. Yeah, hopefully it's just your terrible internet. Said it, or there was a server error? Well, that doesn't sound like... That sounds like a not me problem. Thanks. Boots are looking good. Glad to hear it. Yeah, we're getting there. It should be pretty cool when these laces are all done. Bring a lot more life to them. Setting up those hotkeys was a total game changer. I wouldn't be half as far as this if I hadn't done that. I'm always encouraging people to set hotkeys, you know, for anything that you're going to use on a regular basis. Alright, that's one lace. there. One vertex at a time. What might actually help? Just adding this for reference. It's not going to blend. Well, whatever. I'll just eyeball it. A whole lot to say about what's going on here. You know, it's fairly self-explanatory. I guess other than this is an EP curve, not a Bezier curve. What that means is it's just straight segments with no curve, which ironically is more useful sometimes. I like it because it lets me have a lot more fine-tuned control over what goes where. Yeah, I'm just trying to get all this lined up, put in place, so that I can generate meshes. Which will give us more to sculpt around in ZBrush. And then we'll have a nice detailed looking boot. It's not too bad. Let's see how this works. Too bad. See how it looks over here in ZBrush. Nice. Alright, I think that'll work. Alright, now it's just a matter of going in and making little tweaks and changes so that everything kind of lines up. In cases like this, Move Topological is a really useful brush. It lets you move like, you know, parts of a mesh without interfering with other parts. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to make all this stuff fit together a little better. So something that I've done sometimes, I think I did it on McSpace Biff's boots. You can actually do some cool like procedural modeling curve stuff to add like a lace texture to the laces, like have it be actually like twisted fibers. I'm gonna intentionally not do that because of the style Root is. It would just be simply too much detail. It just wouldn't end up looking quite right, I don't think. So we could do that, but just because we can doesn't mean that we should. If we go back and steal these boots back for Night Atlas someday for Denizen, then I'd probably model the ropes. But even so, even in a more realistically styled game, it's like gonna be so hard to even tell that detail's there. I guess maybe the other thing worth mentioning is this is a technique that I like to use a lot in ZBrush is overlapping subtools. You can create the illusion of depth and detail and realism by just simply having things overlapping each other. And then when this gets baked down, it's gonna all the shadows and everything will look really cool. Hey, what's up, Wub? How you doing? Wub says, I really pulled a Subway Surfers meme so we pay attention on stream, but with root footage instead. Yeah, that's right. Not just root footage, all of our games. You know, it kind of occurred to me, like, you know, people are coming in and watching the stream and, you know, they're seeing me, like, zoomed in on a shoelace for, up to 3 hours with no idea why, no idea what it's for. So, this way they can just glance right there and be like, oh, okay, that's what the game's gonna look like, So yeah, I know it's a little brain rotty, it's a little TikTok brained, but gotta do what you gotta do, right? So yeah, so Wub, we are working on our game. So this game playing up there right now, that is our VR game Deadlock from almost 8 years ago. And we've decided to take another stab at it, kind of reinvent it. We're still working on McSpaceBiff. We're gonna finish that, no doubt, but we're dividing our time between polishing up the McSpaceBiff demo and kind of taking another look at revitalizing Deadlock, our VR game, which was a VR spinoff of Root, which is playing up there right now too. That was our first ever game, and it was more of a stealth, kind of Deus Ex-like kind of thing. But yeah, so we've got those two games, and we're thinking of kind of revisiting them. Because, it's been 8 years, and we were burnt out on those games. We didn't want to touch them anymore. But now it's like, they're pretty cool. So we're looking at revisiting them. And so that's what this is. This is the security guard from Root. You probably saw him a couple times in that trailer. But yeah, so I'm updating him because this model, I made the first model. Actually, let me show you the very first model of this guy. So I started him many, many years ago. This was one of the first models I ever made. Here he is. Yeah, that was the first incarnation of the security guard for Root. But then over the years, we've updated him. And so now we're updating him one more time, for VR and 2024. But yeah. And then that's our other game up there. It doesn't read as well in the thumbnail because it's like darker and more atmospheric and moody. But that game, that game is actually available as a free prototype on itch. It's about a 20-minute play. But yeah, that was kind of like a survival story. I don't know. You just play it. But that was just another concept prototype we were playing around with that we started and never quite were able to finish. When we're done with McSpaceBiff and Deadlock and Root 2, maybe we'll get back to that one. And then there's the classic McSpaceBiff. Oh, too broke to own VR. Yeah, I understand. I do understand. And VR, you're not missing a ton, just to be completely honest. I'm personally not the biggest fan even of VR games, but they have improved a lot since we started, so that's partially why we're kind of thinking of doing this. Because when we first made Deadlock, all the VR games were just like standing room only, like you just kind of stood still, and the reason was basically motion sickness. But now with Half-Life Alyx and lots of other pretty interesting VR games being out there, people are a lot more able to handle moving in VR, so we were like, well, we always kind of wanted to make a VR game where you actually move around. So we're gonna see if we can do that. But the code base from original Deadlock is quite a mess, and it's tied up in the old Unity engine, Unity 5. So we're like, you know what? And there wasn't that much to it. It was just one map and 3 enemies, none of whom were any more complicated than any of our enemies in McSpaceBiff. So So the good news is, even though you'll probably never play Deadlock, a lot of the stuff that we are adding or building for Deadlock is going to directly make McSpaceBiff better. It'll directly make Route 2 better when we get around to that. So yeah, I'm feeling bullish. I think there's a lot of cool stuff in store. So yeah, just hang in there. Alright, those boots look pretty cool, I think. What do y'all think? I think they're good enough. Good enough for government work. Hey, I think all we need to worry about now is this strap. Yeah, we need something a little better than that. We'll probably back to Maya for that. Have you played the Denizen prototype, Wub? It's free on itch. If you haven't, you should check that out. It's honestly probably my favorite of the games that we've made. I mean, obviously that's hard. It's hard to pick favorites, but Denizen's pretty. I like the way it turned out. You know, even though it was only a prototype. Hey, you know what? I could. Do I want to do it that way? Let's do it this way. Not yet. Yeah, you should check it out. It's like, it'll probably take like 20 minutes to play through. It's a decently small download too. Should be less than 2 gigs, if I remember right. It's pretty old at this point. I think we stopped working on it in 2017, so yeah, it's getting up there. Oh, you've been trying to 90% achievements for your Steam library? How's that going? I don't think I've 90%ed any achievements. That sounds like a lot of work, to be honest. What's the most difficult achievement so far that you've been trying to get? Recently 90%ed Alan Wake and currently trying to do the same for Sniper Elite V2. Dude, Alan Wake, that's a cool game. Actually, that's the game that inspired Denizen, largely. That, like, you know, just like being in the woods and everything being creepy and, you know, kind of like supernatural. I think Denizen was literally like, we played Alan Wake, and then we were all just like, damn, we gotta make a game where you're in the woods. And so that set us on course for a couple of years. But yeah, I really enjoyed that game, and like the Twin Peaks vibes that it has. It's pretty awesome. Why are you going for 90% and not 100? Because you value your sanity. Yeah, no, I get that. I can't even imagine going for 90, so I mean, kudos to you for that. Question is, have you 90%ed the achievements en route? Some of those are really hard to get. I'm not even sure if I've 90%ed root. That's something I'm looking forward to, is designing Steam achievements for new games. That'll be a lot of fun. That's a good point. So yeah, you're trying to 90% them because you feel like you don't appreciate them enough. Yeah, I like that. That's a good sentiment. So much goes into making games, and then we just kind of, blast through them, play them for an hour, and then just leave them behind. Whereas like it took people, probably, dozens of people at the least, several years to build these things. Yeah, games are certainly underappreciated. Oh, nice. You've got root on the list. Heck yeah. We have been thinking, I'm thinking, how you mentioned how, you're gonna probably play them all except Deadlock because it's VR. We've been kind of kicking an idea around. I'm definitely not committing to doing it, but it's theoretically possible we may be able to make a flat screen mode for Deadlock. Probably not in like an initial release or anything, but maybe like an update, we could do something like that. It would obviously not be the same, it'd be, probably pretty, but I think it could still be kind of cool. Just kind of like a Nazi zombies, like, wave defense, or horde mode kind of thing. Just fire it up for, 15 minutes and see how far you can get, that sort of thing. I always kind of enjoy games like that. Kind of like Ultra Kill. They got the cyber grind mode. I like that. I'll fire that up. Like if we're hanging out and I'm by my computer and there's not much to do, just fire up the cyber grind and try to get a high score. One game that might be held to 90% will probably be The Great Below. Recently bought it and finished in one sitting. But just because it was in one sitting didn't mean it was easy. The puzzles in this game were ridiculous. Interesting. I've never heard of it. What's The Great Below about? Is it a puzzle game? The Great Below is a horror puzzle game where you navigate through a dark house relying only on the map and the descriptions it gives you. That sounds cool. I like games that have like minimal mechanics. I'm not the biggest fan of horror games, though. Especially if they don't have, like, I don't know. I guess there's Doom 3. I like Doom 3 is the only real horror game I've ever played. Well, I don't know, does Resident Evil count? I like that. Game is first person, but you only look at the map to pinpoint your current location, and you use a match to look up and solve puzzles. Cool, that sounds neat. Man, I'm almost out of water. Well, we're making some pretty okay progress. Thinking we'll have a couple variations on this guy. We'll have the one that's got the like ammo packs, and then we'll have the guy with the shotgun shell bandolier. Hey, what's up, MSim Cook? One big corporate training session behind you. Hell yeah, leave it behind. We don't need any corporate training where we're going. Yeah, you haven't missed a whole lot. I've just been putting finishing touches on this guy. Most notably, detailing these boots. So yeah, I think they're good enough for now. So yeah, gonna have this guy ready to go in no time. So now I'm just trying to finish off this shotgun shell bandolier. And I think soon I'll be able to start actually baking, retopo, baking, etc., etc. Meanwhile, off stream, I've been having a mental meltdown trying to wrap my head around doing VR in Unreal. It's ridiculous. Hey, what's up, Ray VLR? What engine do I work with? We work with Unreal. We got started in Unity. Our old games, like the one playing up in the video now, that's a Unity game. But yeah, lately we've been redoing everything in Unreal. And so we're actually working on migrating our early access game that we built in Unity many years ago over to Unreal. Is it crazy in Unreal, meaning VR? Yeah, I mean, it's crazy anywhere, but yeah, it's crazy in Unreal for sure. There are some cool plugins. There's some really good plugins, actually, that make it a whole lot easier, but it still is a lot just to kind of wrap one's head around, especially if you're like me and not really like a programmer by choice, I'm kind of a reluctant programmer. I just sort of do it because I have to. What I love doing is modeling, building props and weapons and characters and stuff like that. But when you're a two-man team, you gotta do it all, so. But the good news is we're getting a lot of the foundation set nicely for Unreal, and it's going to be good, and it's going to make McSpace Biff better, and it's going to make Route 2 better when we get to that point. So overall, I'm quite excited. Ray VLR, I was going to ask that. I work in VR in Unity. I'm a game dev student in my final year, and I just had my first Unreal class today and was wondering how it feels developing for VR in Unreal compared to Unity. Yeah, alright, well let me say I definitely prefer Unreal. Unity's good too. The problem with Unity is it does not come with any kind of structure. Unity's like this kind of blank canvas that you can just sort of make, and you're responsible for building everything yourself, right? Which could be good if you've got an idea better than the ideas they had at Epic, right? That's what you love about Unity, honestly. Yeah, and that's totally valid. Especially if it sounds like you're kind of like a programmer first. Yeah, I always loved coding. Yeah, so if you love coding, then you're in charge in Unity for sure. You're definitely steering everything, but what that means is you've got to build everything, right? Unreal has so much just built in, multiplayer. For example, if you want to do multiplayer in Unity, you're going to have to use Mirror or something. There's a handful of different plugins and stuff for handling multiplayer, but the fact is they're all plugins. So you're going to use a plugin to handle multiplayer in Unity, and that is just kind of weird to me. You'd think something that key would be part of the engine, but it isn't. Well, gotta love I'm the only normie in this entire group. I mean, we're just, I don't know if not making games makes you a normie, right? Let's see. I always hate, for example, using a code asset that someone else made for me, having to understand it and work around it. I prefer knowing exactly everything because I made it all. Lol. Yeah, I totally. Okay, I agree. I definitely do agree. The one thing that I would say is different in Unreal is it's such a big framework. It's like the framework is there, and the framework, yeah, like there's this upfront investment in learning the framework, right? But once you've learned it, it saves you so much time, and it's been developed by like I'm assuming, like, yeah, like I know what you're talking about, like learning somebody else's plugin or whatever. It's like, oh, why did they set it up like this? And sometimes it's like that in Unreal, but Unreal's been developed since the 90s, and so it's been being refined, and it's literally like, it's designed to be like the ultimate, multiplayer or single player game making machine. Like there's just so much in it. So yeah, you've got to like spend that initial cost to kind of learn it, but once you do, so much is already done for you, and you can focus on making the content, which is the stuff that I love doing. So yeah, when I switching to Unreal felt like adding, a team of, veteran full-time coders to our little indie studio, which was a pretty huge change. Let's see. Yeah. In Tim Cook, I'm virtually a normie. I cannot count myself among the skilled peeps in Skunk Ape. Mild one, skilled is a strong word. Yeah, skilled is a strong word. Weathered is more appropriate. Yes, we're weathered. Aged, you might say, like wine. Or an old boot. Yes, for sure. Yeah, I just draw. Yeah, no, drawing's awesome. I mean, that's what we do too. We just draw, drew for many years, and then started doing all this mind melting stuff. But yeah, feel like it's going to be different for sure. Obviously, it makes sense that having a ton of things already there and ready to be used is superior than making everything from scratch. Thanks for the insight. Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, yeah, my 2 cents, whatever that's worth. But yeah, and obviously you can do a lot in Unity. I mean, this game playing up there now, that's a Unity game. The 3 games in that rotation are Unity games. But we also had a full-time coder, that just was doing nothing but building systems and making the code work. Now it's just me and Harrison, we're a 2-man team now, and neither one of us are really like full-time coders exactly. So yeah, being able to kind of lean on all of that expertise from Epic is huge. Oh yeah, Harrison says the Unity devs went So in Unity, the devs behind it went to go make an open world game at one point, and they weren't able to do it and have it run. Yeah, exactly. While Unreal is what runs Fortnite. Yeah, that was the thing that kind of swayed me too. Because at first I really didn't like Unreal for a lot of the same reasons that you expressed, which is like, it's rigid. It's not flexible. It does things a particular way, and you're not going to change it. It's like set on a path. It's going to work a particular way. Whereas Unity is totally flexible. But then I kind of got to thinking, yeah, look around, like what games run in Unreal? You got Fortnite, you got Borderlands, you got the Batman games, you got, I can't even count, I'm not even going to try to count them all. There's tons and tons and tons of AAA and AA games running in Unreal that are all, okay and pretty cool. That I'd be kind of proud to say I built something like of that quality. And then you look around and look at like what games are running in Unity, and it's like Fall Guys, like there's very few like big games running in Unity, and there's a reason for that, unfortunately. I personally wish we'd come to realization years sooner, but, you know, is what it is. We're here now. So, yeah, my 2 cents. At least Godot is getting a really healthy series of updates. Yeah, Godot looks cool. I don't have any experience with it at all, but it looks like it's a great option for making more, like, smaller indie games. And obviously, if you don't want to pay, you know, royalties at some point, then that's nice. But, I mean, the fact that Unreal's free to start, though, and, like, then, you know, if you get to the point where you actually have to pay royalties, then at least you got to that point, right? Last I remember hearing, David Cizamaki is planning to switch to it after he finally publishes Butcher's Creek. Cool. I haven't heard of Butcher's Creek. Nice. Yeah, sorry, I'm like a kind of like a video game Luddite. Like I really don't know that many. Harrison's much better educated on games and stuff than I. Still catching up on games from, you know, decades ago. If you're paying royalties on Unreal, you have bigger problems. Like, what color do I want my new yacht to be? So true. Is this penthouse nice enough? Etc. Those are the real problems. You know, you think your problems are serious? You know, you think going to the store and, you know, doing the math to see if you can, you know, afford the groceries in your shopping cart, you think you got problems? Psh, man, that's not a problem. Choosing the right color for your yacht, that's a problem. That's a problem. Choosing if you want a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, you know, those are serious problems. Will is like that guy in the jungle during World War II who didn't know the war ended. He's so deep in the trenches working on the games he didn't know that phones exist until now. So true. I'm yeah, what's his name? Lieutenant Yamoto. It's just they had to fly his commanding officer from World War II out to tell him that the war had ended. Yeah, that's me. I'll never give up. No surrender. No surrender, just making games to the bitter end. The war for weird shooter games rages on, and we are the last man standing. So true. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having some basic VR stuff to show you guys. It's getting somewhere. It's a lot of work and it doesn't look like much yet. But I'm excited to looking forward to when I can share some of that stuff on stream. This VR is a really underserved niche. Like it's it's kind of dorky and lame, but it's also kind of cool. It's like it's definitely cooler than the amount of games there are for it indicate. Like it's disproportionately ignored as a medium, I'd say. So I'm looking forward to fixing that. Yeah, worthwhile update. We're basically picking up with on the update that we started back, 8 years ago, where we added the room scale locomotion, and everyone was like, oh no, this is nauseating. It's like, we're just gonna pick right up from there, and people will be like, hey, this is now standard and cool. It's like, what is that quote? It's like being, a month early is cool. Being, a year early is innovative, but being 5 years early is dangerous. Kinda dorky and lame, but also kinda cool. Honestly, yeah, I stand by that. ZBrush, why do you do this thing? You thought I was describing us, right? Maybe a little bit, but no, I was describing VR. Crazy how we were like, yeah, locomotion is definitely how VR shooters should be played, and everyone's response was just like, I threw up, movement bad. Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. And we were like, well, but what are you gonna do? Just stand still? Forever? And sure enough, people got tired of that pretty quick. Oh, not as quick as we were expecting, though. Honestly, if they'd gotten tired of it as quick as we were expecting, and, if Half-Life Alyx had come out, 10 years earlier, when it should have, then we'd probably be making VR games right now, or would have been making VR games this whole time. Oh well. Oh, yeah, comment, seeing the Denizen gameplay, it really did look good for a Unity game that had fully baked lighting. Yeah. Yeah, we put some work into that one for sure. It's an old game now, too. We should have never used baked lighting. Oh yeah, completely agree. We won't do it again. If we get to the point where we need that kind of performance, you're talking about like a Switch port or something like that. And there's studios that do that just exclusively, just make Switch ports. Just team up with one of them. I'm gonna shelve these files before I destroy something. Yeah, yeah, MSim Cook, it was for optimization purposes, but it was totally misguided. I just thought, hopefully my mic's working good. I just saw it went red, so sorry if I'm being loud, but yeah, it's for optimization purposes, but it was misguided because it's like it wasn't worth it. We had like who's playing the game, right? PC gamers, average person that's got an old PC can probably still run the game. Yeah, they're gonna run it at sub 60 FPS, but it'll still run. And the fact of the matter is they're probably already used to games running that slow because they haven't upgraded their computer, so they'll just be happy to be able to play it at all. But yeah, we had the potatoes in mind. We always wanted everybody to have a 60 plus FPS experience, which is noble, but it's expensive. It's an expensive, costly dream that we just wouldn't give up on, and we ended up wasting so much time on it that we didn't finish the game in time. So we're not going to make those mistakes again. Yeah, it's not realistic for a small team. So yeah, now what we'll do the best that we can, with what we've got. And if the game gets so popular that people are like begging for a Switch port, or for it to run really good on low-end hardware, then we can outsource a port or some optimization work or something after the game is done. But before then, we gotta find out if people even give two craps about the game, right? Which realistically, there probably won't be that many people who do, because it's a saturated market. Oh, man. I saved just before that. That's habit of saving pays off. Yeah, I would rather play y'all's game on lower settings than not have y'all's game. Yep. Yeah, and that is the choice, right? Like when we got started, it was like we were so idealistic. It's like there's no way we're not gonna make this game, like we're definitely gonna make it no matter what. And now it's like, yeah, it's making games pretty hard. I don't know if we're gonna be able to pull it off. Whoa. Hello. Ugh, camera. I hate this camera bug that always comes from switching up axis. Super annoying. Alright, let's see if we can do this now. And there goes the castle of cards. Yep. Oh, bro, we should make like a montage, like those quick scope montages back in the day. We should make one of Maya crashing. That'd be so funny. Just like set to some like super hype music, and it's just like a full minute of just Maya crashing. Maya crash compilation, 11 hours, 37 minutes. and then we'll just post it on Twitter and just like at Autodesk. Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny. Well, that's good to hear. Imsim Cook says, but we'll get there, especially as a spectator. It's crazy how much progress y'all have made just in the time we've been streaming, at least from an amateur standpoint. Yeah, thanks, dude. That's good to hear. Streaming has been pretty cool, actually, because I've been surprised how much we've gotten done, like, while streaming, too. It's interesting, because when you're working on stuff by yourself, you're not quite as focused. You get distracted, with a YouTube video or something. But yeah, when you're like live, it's like, okay, people are watching me. I need to not mess around too much. So yeah, I think it's actually helped us be more productive. Like in an ironic way. That looks pretty cool. Man, yeah, we've only been doing this a month. We've made an enemy and a bunch of assets and almost a whole level. Gotta lock in. I think that is high poly complete for Mr. Guard. Where'd this little ammo pack go? There it is. Yeah, so these will be two different variations, the packs and the shotgun shell bandolier. Poly complete. Dark Souls font. Oh man, we should make some overlays like that, so I can like press a button and put it up on the stream. That'd be funny. belt. Ah, I did lose that. Darn. Let's see, do I want it? Oh, no, I didn't. It's right here. Yeah, close one. Yeah, I nearly lost some work from the last stream because then I moved on to do engine stuff. Oops. Oh, come on, ZBrush. But yeah, I moved on to do engine stuff, and I was compiling plugins and stuff like that. You know, and sometimes stuff just gets broken, and so you've just got to like reset to the server version. And doing that, you know, cleans out all the files in your workspace, which, you know, that's what you want. Unless you've got character files sitting in your workspace that you forgot to submit to the depot, which I did. So yes, my Maya file got obliterated. But thankfully I had a ZBrush autosave, so saved my bacon. Only 9 days left till Lorne's Lore releases. Yeah, I think you've mentioned that game before. Sounds pretty cool. Is that the one that had all the like kind of like ancient sci-fi environment? Oh no, it's the shooter with the blam aesthetic. You mean Blame, right? Yeah, I think you mean Blame. The like big like mega city structures. Yeah, that does sound dope. Man, can I get away with just sort of like hanging these stun grenades right here? Just like no holster or anything? I think I probably can't. Who's gonna stop? And then with this, I don't need this little loop. That's stupid. Same for that, I'll just kind of float it right there. No one will care. The outside clip looks like it would slide over the belt. Are you talking about these things? Or are you talking about the pistol holster? Grenades. So what do you mean by rotate them? You don't mean like this, do you? Because the idea with these things is they're like the part that you like press in or something. And I like this detail. I don't want to waste it turning it inward. Yeah, I think it's better than just sticking out like that, just kind of looking more grenade-like. Yeah. Yeah, they just go off randomly. Every guard just has a random chance to explode. I think the idea is, I mean, I made these. I mean, they don't use them. They're just there for show. And I modeled this, 10 years ago, so I don't even remember what the idea was. But I think that they're stun grenades. I probably Googled stun grenade and saw they had a little clip like this on them, so I modeled it. Oops. Those might also be special to the Riot version too, because they're different. The idea was there'd be different versions of them. One of them had a Riot shield. Oh yeah, they might have been a mechanic that we were planning for later on. Like you might have been able to use them later, and they would probably use them too. Can you shoot them on the guard's hip and cause them to explode? That'd be too easy. Alright, see, I'm thinking that'll be the version that uses the shotgun, and he'll have the helmet too. So yeah, that'll be a version. This is the shotgun guy, and then this guy will be like the ordinary pistol guy. What's coming up here? Oh, that's fine. It's the old version of that. Oops. Alright, I think that's probably good. This guy looks sick. Heck yeah. Yeah, it's going to be cool seeing him in VR. Alright, well I think I'll probably call it here. I gotta get back to melting my brain on other things. But yeah, this is a solid stopping point. I think, probably one more stream. Retopo, UV, bake. The usual. You know how it is. One thing I could do before signing off is make sure I have the up-to-date shoes. Alright, yeah, so I want to merge all those. And make a decently high-res single mesh that I can bring into Maya. Enjoy strapping monitors to your face for hours on end. Yeah, I know, I hate VR dev so much. But it's pretty cool when it actually is all coming together. Great progress. Thanks. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Some people actually like using the VR as like a multiple monitor setup because you can do the virtual desktop. I can't do that though, that gives me a headache. Not many things give me a headache, but that does. Yeah, that looks pretty solid. I'd say this is the logical evolution of whatever the heck these guys are supposed to be. Add in some of these block-in materials. But yeah, that's solid. I think we can work with that. Yeah, we're going to try to get Deadlock to run on the Quest. I think it is possible, since it's got no textures. Turn off some of the lighting effects, probably no shadows. Probably no bloom either. But yeah, that'll be cool being able to just like run it totally local on local hardware, no Airlink and no cable. That'll be sweet. Yeah, dude, yeah, facing off with these guys when they're able to actually like run up to you and like maybe even melee or something, that's gonna be pretty spooky. Cool. Alright, well, yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. Yeah, anybody got any questions or requests for next stream? Yeah, it probably would be one of the better looking Quest games if we can get it running. Yep, a lot of ifs. A lot of ifs, but we're getting there. Some fun stuff. I am going to check this into Perforce before signing off so I don't forget again. Guard progress. All right. Yeah, commit your changes early and often. And utilize shelves so you don't have to spam your change lists. Shelves are really nice. They basically give you a way to like make a copy and store it on the server that you can bring back onto your machine, but without actually committing a change. So it doesn't actually like create another change list number. Which, by the way, just yesterday we passed 1,000 change lists on our server. So that's, you know, doesn't really mean a whole lot, but because, you know, there's lots of change lists that are just like changing file, saving file, you know, but it's a big number. Oh yeah, losing work is the worst. Yeah, 1,000 change lists around the time we passed 100 subscribers. Yeah, how about that? Okay, so that means we just need to make more change lists. So, yeah, remember that. Just add more files. We'll get there. We'll get there sooner. Alright, guys. Well, thanks for hanging. It was fun as always. I'm gonna get out of here. And yeah, I'll see you around. Peace, everybody.